Hello, I am Dr. Shyam Shashidharan, consultant cardiologist at Vijaya Hospital, Kottarakkara, Kerala. So, in today's session, we are planning to have a brief discussion about the topic cholesterol. So, our intention is to create an awareness about the topic among the general public. So, first of all, why should we talk about cholesterol? Why is it so important? So, as you all know, the leading cause of mortality across the globe for past several decades has been cardiovascular diseases like stroke and heart attack. And modern medicine has always endeavored to reduce the incidence or mitigate the burden of cardiovascular disease across the globe. So, in that regard, we have identified certain risk factors which lead on to the development of cardiovascular diseases, which we classify as modifiable risk factor and non-modifiable risk factors. And for obvious reasons, the stress and the focus is always on modifiable risk factors. And the most common and important modifiable risk factors are type 2 diabetes mellitus, systemic hypertension, smoking, and dyslipidemia, or what we call as the increase the cholesterol levels. So, talking about increased cholesterol levels, before that, whether cholesterol is it a really bad molecule which we don't require in our body? The answer is no. Cholesterol is an essential biomolecule which is required for the normal structure and function of almost all the cells of our body. So, where does this essential cholesterol comes from? In fact, most of the required cholesterol is endogenously produced by the body. That's the body makes its cholesterol by itself, and the dietary cholesterol, when it becomes excess, more than what is required, it will lead on to increase persistently high levels of blood cholesterol, which leads on to deposition of these cholesterol in normal tissues, particularly the cardiovascular tissue, the vasculature, the lining which we call as the endothelium of blood vessels. The process is called atherosclerosis, and this ultimately leads on to almost all the cardiovascular diseases like stroke and heart attack. So now we know that why is cholesterol levels important. So we have to check the cholesterol levels to know whether the cholesterol is within the normal limits recommended. The first question is, how do we know that our cholesterol levels is within the normal limits or whether it is high or not? The answer is simple, that we do a simple blood test in the fasting state, which we call as the lipid profile. So in by lipid profile, we assess different components of cholesterol in our blood, namely total cholesterol, then the recommended levels of which is less than 200 milligram per deciliter. Then the most important, the low density lipoprotein, or what we call as the bad cholesterol, the recommended levels of which is less than 100 milligram per deciliter. Then the high density lipoprotein, or the HDL, which is also called the good cholesterol, which ideally should be above 40 to 60 milligram per deciliter in the blood. Then the other components is the triglyceride, and the recommended level is less than 150 milligram per deciliter. So by a simple test, we can know our blood cholesterol levels. Now, next question is, who should get their cholesterol levels checked? Almost all the scientific societies across the world recommend all adults to have their cholesterol checked at least once. That is roughly above the age of 35, and in some particular cases about 20 years. It is recommended to have your cholesterol checked in the fasting states. So now when we know that our cholesterol is not within the, particularly the bad cholesterol is not within the recommended levels or whether it is high, what can we do about it? Now, regarding the control of blood cholesterol, the persistently elevated bad cholesterol in the blood, we have two broad approaches. So one is called the therapeutic lifestyle changes, the other is the pharmacotherapy. So definitely the first and foremost is therapeutic lifestyle changes. So let us see what is therapeutic lifestyle changes. By this, we mean a certain number of activities or health uh, choices we make. Like, first of all, the diet. So, an ideal diet usually contains less than 20 to 30 percentage of the total calorie intake as fats. Now, I agree that there are some gray areas with regards to which is good fats and which is bad fats when it comes to diet. But from all the evidences we have so far, certain things are for sure, like foods containing increased saturated fatty acids, like the red meat, tropical oils, processed foods, as well as particularly foods containing increased trans fats, like the baked and processed foods, cakes, biscuits, etc., and foods rich in increased sodium or salt and added sugars. All these are harmful to the cardiovascular health. Whereas foods like nuts, legumes, whole vegetables, whole grains, fruits, etc., and also that the fats contained in fats in poultry and fish is considered good for cardiovascular health. So adopt a healthy lifestyle with regard to the diet. Now, the second part is the exercise. So, as you all know, physical inactivity has a major impact on our your lipid levels, and particularly it also increases the physical activity also increases the good cholesterol levels in your blood. So, what is recommended to have is 30 minutes of moderate physical activity or aerobic exercise like brisk walking or jogging and swimming or bicycling a day for 5 days a week is considered essential. In addition to it, if you can add 1 or 2 days of strength training, it should be optimal. So now the third thing is obesity. Even modest levels of reduction of increased body weight in obese individuals has been found to have a profound impact on their lipid levels. So then is the less recognized some risk factors are there, like the stress. So particularly in the modern day life, to reduce the work stress and other mental stress is particularly important, and you need to have at least 7 to 8 hours of sound sleep for your better cardiovascular health. So that is about the therapeutic lifestyle changes you need to make to get your lipids in check. Now, the second part of the approach to increase cholesterol levels is pharmacotherapy. We have excellent potent drug therapies for reducing cholesterol. Most widely used and the most potent. Can you cut there? Okay. So regarding pharmacotherapy, we have a wide array of potent medicines which can reduce cholesterol levels. The most widely used are the statins. Then we have the fibric acid derivatives or the fibrates, niacin, cholesterol absorption inhibitors, and the more recent, very potent monoclonal antibodies against PCSK9 called the evolocumab. So to wind up this session, I would like to conclude that persistently increased cholesterol levels is a major risk factor for development of cardiovascular diseases like stroke and heart attack. And no matter your age, you always have something to do to keep your cholesterol levels in check. First and foremost is to adopt a healthy lifestyle, be it regard to the diet as well as the physical activity part. And whenever deemed necessary, you have to take drugs which are both safe and at the same potent to get your cholesterol levels in the normal limits and have a better cardiovascular health. With that, I conclude. Have a nice day. Thank you.